you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and...
Watching another episode of Jay's TV, and on today's video, we have got a lot to cover about the BAFTA Awards. The BAFTA Awards 2022. A friend of mine texted me this morning and said, Jace, did you watch it? I said, no, I was too busy binge watching The Equalizer Season 1, fantastic, from 1985. My God, when CBS TV were a force to be reckoned with, filming in real locations, including fantastic interiors you can't build from scratch. Everything in Manhattan, all from the ground up. It's just awesome. In fact, No Way Home used one of the locations featured in Equalizer. This was actually referenced by Doctor Strange himself. And speaking of all things strange, who won the Rising Star Award at last night's brave, bold, and maybe not so beautiful BAFTA Awards? Yes, Lasagna Lynch. She's the Rising Star, folks. She's the same person as Naomi, whatever her name was, in James Bond, No Time to Die. By the time that film had finished, I wish I was dead already, because as you remember, Lasagna Lynch in misguided interviews and on the film itself reminded you constantly until you were about to gouge your eyes out. She's the first female of colour to be James Bond. Hello, James. I'm your new 007. James Bond, I'm your new 007. James Bond, I'm your new 007.
James Bond, I'm your new 007.
Oh my... Ugh. Wow, and so much so that her character was so useless, James Bond kept outsmarting her, outquipping her. It was hilarious. So what's the point of building this female James Bond if she's not really capable of being James Bond? She was absolutely useless. Now, if we're just going over to the actual list of nominees who she was against, so, oh God, I hate that publicity shot of her, like, oh, look at me, I'm flipping my collar. So we have her against Ariana DeBose. Don't know anything about her, but what I am excited is that she's in Matthew Vaughn's next film called Argyle. Not the limo driver in Die Hard, but it also co-stars Bryan Cranston, Samuel L. Jackson, and a one Henry Cavill. So I am very stoked for that. Harris Dickinson. Don't know much about him. Millicent Simmons, I have heard about her as well. Yes, A Quiet Place Part 2, that's where I know her from. And Cody Smith-McPhee, who was in The Power of the Dog with Cumberbatch Benebich. You know the guy I'm talking about. So, you know, you look at this cast list here of nominees and tell me how fair you think it was this time round. As far as I'm concerned, Lasagna Lynch just got the award because, you know, it's a sympathy award, isn't it? It's like, there you go, Lasagna, you got a backlash, but we're going to give you this Rising Star Award because you're going to do great in the future. So with that out of the way, let's talk about Reacher on Amazon. Now, you know I've talked about this series completely off the rails because I loved every minute of it. I'm due to rewatch it again this week. But from Forbes, courtesy of Paul Tassi, you know, the only man on YouTube. He has his own dedicated Destiny channel. It's hilarious. But what I like about this is that Reacher is Amazon's biggest hit, more so than Wheel of Time.
You don't listen to the wind, Egwene. It's the wind that listens to you.
And I thought this was a very interesting article. So there's Malcolm Goodwin, you know, as Detective Barbano from iZombie, and Mr. Muscles himself, Adam Richson, top dude. And what they say here is that the Wheel of Time in November 2021, actually, I'm trying to make sense of this. So the viewing time for the Wheel of Time, good grief, try saying that 4 times after you've had a few, was 1.16 billion minutes in November 2021. And with Reacher, look at the time frame now, January the 31st to February the 6th, okay, 1.84 billion. And Ozark, 2.37 billion minutes viewed. That's pretty impressive, actually, for Reacher to be behind Ozark. I know it's just begun its fourth season, the first half. I've got to get into the rest of it. Well, the first episode was amazing, as I would expect it to be. So well done, Reacher. It will continue to get big gains if it doesn't go down the woke rabbit hole. With Lee Child overseeing that production very closely, I don't think he would allow that to happen. So time will only tell. But if there's a little bit of a backlash against things like what Reacher may conform to, I don't think it will. It should have legs. And on a sad note, folks, we've got to say goodbye to another Hollywood great today. This time it is William Hurt. And when I heard the news, I was sad, man. Like, this guy is such a great actor. I've seen many of his movies. Funny enough, I'm due to rewatch some of his films this week. So if you don't know a lot about William Hurt, and then he said William Sadler for a second, he made his debut in Altered States, a film directed by Ken Russell. Now, I haven't seen that film in the longest of times, so I do want to go and watch it today or tomorrow. Also marked the debut of Drew Barrymore, which I didn't know. So other films I would recommend that you watch of William Hurt will be Body Heat with Kathleen Turner, and like the title suggests, is exactly what you get in the film. Gorky Park with Lee Marvin in 1983. Kiss of the Spider-Woman, 1985. Now, I draw attention to this particular film because William Hurt, straight white guy, plays an effeminate homosexual. And that is not me stating that, that's how it's stated in Wikipedia. Now, if you were to get a white actor today to play someone who's gay, when the white actor themselves might be straight, there's going to be an uproar. Oh, you can't do that. You got to get somebody who's actually of that sexual persuasion. But guess what? Even Ian McKellen said you can get whoever is the right fit for that role. But William Hurt, terrific actor. He won the Academy Award for Kiss of the Spider-Woman. And then obviously he was in Children of a Lesser God. I've mentioned that title before. And then he was in Lost in Space, which I'm going to watch again, actually, because I know it gets a bad rap, but I'm pretty sure when I watched it the last time, it was a pretty enjoyable movie. I like that. Trial by Jury with Joanne Whalley, so I'm going to watch that again, and Armand Asante. But if I got to single out like a really feel-good William Hurt movie to watch, I would actually say it's Broadcast News from 1987, a year that was filled to the brim with great movies anyway, including Lethal Weapon and The Predator, or just Predator by John McTiernan. So yeah, rest in peace, William Hurt. I know he became cannon fodder in the end for the MCU, using him as Thunderbolt Ross. And you know what? In the last time that we saw him in the film, I think it might have been, Black Widow, maybe. He wasn't looking too well. He looked like he lost a lot of weight. And unfortunately, he passed away of prostate cancer. It metastasized throughout his body. So it's a real shame. 71. Dude was 71, man. It's just a real crying shame. So rest in peace, William Hurt. You brought it to the table every time, mate. And again, a history of violence. An unusual nomination for his role because he was kind of over the top in it, but I loved it. It's a good film. He's terrific in it. And that's the thing with William Hurt. You can give him a piece of paper with a bits of dialogue on there and he will turn it into something special. So RIP William Hurt. May the stars look upon you. And on that note, folks, if you enjoyed this video today, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and if I were you, I would look out for me on my next upload.
Tom, while being a very nice guy, is the devil.
At least kiss me when you do that.
You just can't stop editing me, huh?
He personifies everything that you've been fighting against. And I'm in love with you.
They know everything that's happening in the world, except what they mean to each other.
You ready? Why and cue 'em. Go.